Okay.
Okay. Twitch.
Okay. Well, I just got a text. We're live right now, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just now turned it on, just to see if I got my notification, because I have the Twitch app. Oh, I just got an email too.
Oh, good.
We're live right now. I just now turned it on.
Oh, really?
Just to see if I got my notification. And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay. I have the Twitch. Because I have the app.
Pulling up the Twitch now.
Okay, how's it look?
Loading right now.
And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay. And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay.
Twitch now.
Okay, how's it look? Holy shit, that's gonna fuck with my brain.
Okay, how's it look? You have to turn the volume down.
No, it's cool. And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay. And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay. And there you go. There's your like 20-second delay. Holy shit, that's gonna fuck with my brain. Holy shit, that's gonna fuck with my brain. No, it's cool. No, it's cool. No, I'm just trying to make sure I have everything open first before we start broadcasting, so that it's all jumpable, right?
Yeah. It's still loading.
Oh, I've got it on mine. Just trying to make sure I have everything open first before. Sorry, that's why I'm getting totally jacked with. It's because I can hear. We start broadcasting, so that it's all jumpable, right?
Still loading.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I've got it on mine. Sorry, that's why I'm getting totally jacked. Yeah. So I had like 2 or 3 windows open, and they were going like da-ding, 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 da-ding.
Okay, I'm getting an ad. That's good.
Oh, I've got it on mine. That's why I'm getting totally jacked. Yeah. So I had like 2 or 3 windows open, and they were going like da-ding, 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 da-ding.
Okay, I'm getting an ad. That's good.
Yeah, I just heard you say I get an ad. That's good. Yeah. So I had like 2 or 3 windows open, and they were going like da-ding, 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 da-ding. Is there a way to pop this chat room?
Like off? I think
No.
you can use that.
Yeah, I just heard you say. I actually want to pop it out so that I can see it on the side. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if you can move that.
Oh, there's a pop out. There we go. Is there a way to pop this chat room?
Oh, there you go.
I wonder if I can.
Yeah, I'm not getting the video right now.
I just heard you say. I actually want to pop it out so that I can see it on the side. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you can move that.
Oh, there's a pop out. There we go. Is there a way to pop this chat room?
There you go.
I wonder if I can see
Yeah, I'm
it.
not getting the video right now.
You're not getting it? It's strange.
I don't know if you can move that.
Oh, there's a pop out. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not getting the video right now. The ads are coming in fine.
You're not getting ads are coming in fine.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I have got screen on screen on screen. The
Okay.
ads are coming in fine. It's just a still frame though. It feels like it's loading. Oh, there's you. I got you in the background there. Oh, there we go. I have got screen on screen on screen.
Okay.
It's just a still frame. 3 Doors with the Devil. Feels like it's loading.
Yeah, I'm chatting with one of the guys that is watching. I told a bunch of people at work, so they're probably they pop in.
Yeah, this is just not happening for me right now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Do you have too much stuff going on your?
I've got
computer?
Skype and Chrome open. That should.
Yeah, I'm
definitely
chatting
not.
with one of the guys. That should be fine. Do you have an iPad? A bunch of people at work, so they're probably pop in.
Not mine with the U version. Yeah, this is just not happening for me right now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Do you have too much stuff going on your?
I've got Skype and Chrome open.
That should be fine. Do you have an iPad?
Yes. No.
Do you have an iPad?
Yeah. Yes.
What's the name? But I wanted to make sure the stream was recording.
No.
Okay, hey, George, you're still not getting a stream because, we've got somebody else, getting a stream here, and I've also got the stream going on my other browser window.
Mine still says loading video.
George, you're still not getting a stream because,
Restart. I reloaded it.
Okay.
We've got somebody else getting the stream here, and I've also got the stream going on my other browser window.
Mine still says loading video.
George, you still not getting the stream because
Restart. I reloaded it.
we've got somebody else getting the
So,
stream here.
hold on.
What the hell? Yours is it's on your screen, fine, right?
Yep.
And your buddy that's watching can see it.
Yep. In fact, he just gave me some shit about being able to hear audio 3 times.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's just my computer.
Let's see here. Neat.
Yeah, it's just a gray screen. It says live. Damn it.
This is you. Hold on, let me see if I can get a. I'm gonna try and do this without hogging resources and see if I can get a picture-in-picture of myself going here. Hey Matt, you got any suggestions on my Skype action here? Are you still not getting video, George?
Me, Brian?
Sorry, Brian. Yes, sorry, I used your middle name for some reason. I don't know what the fuck.
No. It's a gray screen. It says loading video at the bottom. It says that you're live here. When I go to your page, it shows, or like when I search your name, it shows the thumbnail of what you have on right now, and it's
not going. What
Maybe I'll try a different browser.
Oh, what the fuck was that?
One of the videos that's like being highlighted on the main page.
Four viewers. Oh, okay. Two of them are me. Two of them are me. One of them is you, and the other one's Matt.
Strange.
Oh,
I thought it was I didn't have Flash Player or something, but just as I said that, the Flash ad came up. Okay.
One sec. Oh. What was that?
An ad. Man, this is ridiculous.
Okay, does everybody see a monkey? Hold on, I got one other person saying they don't have video either. George.
Brian.
Sorry, Brian. How did you become George today? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, man, but you've never called me George.
I don't know. It's so strange. I think I've got like too many processes going on.
Well, this is frustrating as hell right now. Log out. Log in.
Your Skype is at least not.
When I see the thumbnail for your broadcast,
It's
the monkey
updated.
thing.
Yep.
Okay, so when I click on that, it just says loading video at the bottom, and nothing happens. It says live.
Okay, so I've got video going on. I can see it on my iPad. What are you doing, Brian? What's going on?
Well, when I opened up the Safari, it said that I needed to install Adobe Flash Player in order to see the chat.
Oh, that will also fuck up your video. Do you have Chrome?
I was on Chrome originally.
Oh, that's strange.
I know, that's... I usually use Chrome because it figures all that shit out.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna go get some coffee. Yeah. Matt says he's on Chrome, works fine for him.
Do I need to, like, update Chrome or something?
I'm not sure. I don't know, Reggie.
Do I need to be on OS X Yosemite at this point?
Are you still on OSX crap shit lion fuck?
Sure.
Sure.
I think.
I don't know. It shouldn't be. Should be fine. Who's Edible Expedition?
That's me.
Okay, that's you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like your new screen name?
It starts going for like a brief second.
Uh-huh.
I've got the picture on here, and it just goes back to the spinning wheel in
Is
the
that-
middle.
So Matt says he's got no problem.
I know. I don't
Still
get
see
it.
the monkey, 2 in the top right corner. You just move the monkey.
No, it went back to a gray screen.
Is it? Is your bandwidth getting soaked up by Skype?
Let me see. I'll test it. Let me just jump off.
Okay. Do you have an iPad?
No.
I was gonna say try it on your iPad or try it on your phone. Oh. You're right, Matt. That's very, very arcane and archaic of me to keep typing while you're when you can just hear me. Okay. All right. Brian, you there? Lee. Talking fucking Lee. That's actually me on my phone, Matt. My phony phone. Yeah, I'm talking right now. Are you getting any sound? Hey, Josh at you. What about video for you, Josh? Oh my god, this is going to be an exercise in like ADD, getting this going. Alrighty. Okay, feel free to chat back at me if you need me to zoom in or do something so you can see something better, or highlight, or if I go too fast. Brian, why don't we just jump back on Skype, kill your Twitch view window, and it looks like other people are getting it, no problem.
Hello?
Hey,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So like Josh is seeing it, Matt's seeing it.
The only thing is I won't have my video on there for some reason. I think the video was bogging it down, but now it's not working again. The Skype must be killing it.
Yeah, I think it's probably hogging bandwidth. Yeah, I mean, up to you. Do you want a picture-in-picture video of you? I think it's kind of cool because then people can see who's asking questions. And I can also see...
Maybe Google Hangout?
Do you want to try Google Hangout?
Well, it's working. Hold on, I don't want to count my chickens here, but it's working right now.
Brian, why don't we just jump back on
Okay.
view window? And it looks like other people are getting it, no problem.
I'm getting your audio.
So like Josh is seeing it, Matt's seeing it. The only thing is I won't have my video on here for some reason. I think the video is bugging it out, but I'm working again. Skype must be killing it. Yeah, I think it's probably bugging that.
Is that how I sound? That's terrible.
How do you want to start a hangout?
Yeah, let me do that. You're in.
See if that works. You want to kill Skype and just invite me to the hangout?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, get Twitch on your phone and test it that way. And then we can just Skype. Because it's 10 o'clock. Let's just get going. Know what I'm saying, Brian? Oh. Come on, load that.
What were you saying?
So, I was saying get Twitch on your phone and do the preview that way. See if that works.
Yeah.
And then, let's just get the Skype going, and then let's get the lesson going.
So to stay on Skype then and turn off the Twitch, you mean?
Yeah, on your computer, but you can turn on Twitch on your phone,
Gotcha.
right?
We'd probably still bog it down though, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but see if you're actually getting, see if it's not some other issue, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's working now.
So, I was saying, get Twitch on your
Okay, let's do this again. Chip in the corner. Let me check out my preview. Everybody loves monkeys. I know I do. This kind of doesn't get much better than that, does it? Monkeys and bacon make everything better. Are you trying your phone, Twitch?
Yeah.
You're so perturbed.
It's downloading.
Okay. All right. Well, so what?
I'm getting a head rocking monkey here on your screen now.
Yeah. That's correct. I went to a GIF page just so you could double check that everything is. Just so you had some action. You know what I mean?
It just keeps bogging down for some reason. Maybe I need to turn off the video. How do we get with Twitch here?
Monkey bacon. Monkey bacon is probably not great. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, wait. Is that my screen? Oh, is that you, Brian, with the audio going?
I do have audio going. Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Okay. Alrighty. Brian, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you kill your video feed?
No, on Skype, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. But your videos on Twitch is working right now. I just watched you walk to the back of the kitchen and it just came back.
Okay, well then, shall we just get started?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bogged down. I don't know, maybe the bandwidth in my house sucks. Should have high-speed internet.
I jumped on a few other sites today, like just sort of general internet stuff, like, you know, Southern California Edison and a couple other things, and they were down. So you might be experiencing issues not under your control. Anyway, okay, so let me call up George. You want to keep me on schedule, on point here, because I forgot what it's George. Brian, sorry, man.
Yes.
How you became George today, I don't know.
I don't know, that's my grandfather's and
It's so strange that my brain switched over to that while streaming. You know, Matt, it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. Not everybody can always get up to watch an old game designer teach Unity 3D. Anyway, I was going to do the news real quick. Do we want to do the news this morning, Brian?
I think so. I mean, just touch on it.
Yeah, I didn't see... Oh, my iPad died. I'll do it with my phone.
I'll pull up IGN and stuff, and what else do you get?
You know, honestly, I use Flipboard. And, yeah, on my phone. And I just go through the gaming tab first. And why don't I actually just talk about that?
Okay, cool.
So, Flipboard, if you can see it, there's like a red icon there that looks like a top left corner. And the cool thing about Flipboard is it's got like, can you see this, Brian?
I'm...
Okay. Anyway, and I go through one-handed and check things out. I highly recommend it. It's free. But I have a magazine on here called Future Game Tech. And so what you do is you go find news stories. You can flip these things into your own magazine. Right? But so I've got different topics like gaming, technology, VentureBeat, Forbes Tech, Engadget, TechCrunch. Right? And so like I've sort of... Say what?
It just aggregates everything for you?
Yeah, well, I'm pulling from there like RSS like feeds, kind of. It's like an RSS reader, I think. And so like it's just everything in one spot, yeah.
Very cool.
And then you can jump into a topic and do that stuff. So like, you know, in the gaming news, I'll go through Dota 2 now has over 10 million players. Knew that was coming at some point. Blah, 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 blah. I think 9 out of 10 news stories I just don't give a shit about. I really don't. Will the U.S. get Nintendo's new 3DS? Probably.
Well, I mean, that's not a huge deal to me either, like that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
what does excite you? Like, what kind of news? I mean, is it? I don't know. Is it like new game consoles? Is it new software? Is it new tech hardware?
Yeah, I'm always looking at new tech hardware. I'm looking at new game stuff. I also look at the indie game mags to see if there's something like sleepers, right? I'm also paying attention to sort of when press gets testy about stuff.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm sort of seeing what they get excited about, what they don't get excited about. So, you know, we'll see. I'm just checking to see what's new, if there's anything I don't know about, and then if there's any new tech. So, I actually spend more time in VentureBeat than anything else, I think.
I like VentureBeat. It's a nice combination of, I think, the business side as well.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, entertainment.
Yes, I
Consumer base.
totally agree. And Dean's a good dude. I've met Dean a few times. Yeah, and I go through, like, here's an interesting one that I've always felt is correct. Accelerators claim they're in it for the long haul. I call bullshit. Right? So anybody who's ever tried to get something funded through an accelerator or like through like venture capital is knows my frustration. Is like they're really in it because there's a picture of a lotto ticket here. It's pretty good. I mean, they're just looking for a hard exit, right?
Right. So what are we? So there's really nothing going on in terms of news. I've got a few of the sites open that I go to individually here.
Yeah, this looks pretty dead today. Sometimes, I mean, Saturday's a rough day, right? Like, I think the best news time is probably Wednesdays. Maybe I'll just do like a newscast on Wednesday.
Well, although it's not related to games, it is somewhat related to tech. The new King Kong movie, the timeline was revealed.
What?
It's going to take place in 1971 in Detroit.
Are you serious?
Kind of an interesting take on it, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Well,
I like this. Yeah.
No shit. I didn't know there was a new King Kong movie coming. That's exciting.
It's going to be called Skull Island. I think it's more about like the origins of Kong.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's bitchin'.
Yeah, I'm into that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I really do enjoy. Well, it's got monkeys, right? Technically, he's an ape, but I am
He
excited.
is an ape. It's cool because I've got the Twitch running on my phone.
Works fine.
It looks like it's running. I mean, it's small, obviously, and I got the sound on right now, but yeah. So, but it's working. And the chats. I was gonna bring up the chat on the computer here, but I'm just gonna leave that to you and me on Skype, and then leave to the people watching.
Okay. Yep. Let's just proceed.
Great.
Everything's testing out fine. How's everybody in the chat room? Oh, so Matt, you should look for. Do you have Flipboard, Matt? Let's see what Matt's got going on. Okay, so
So I mean, we wanted to get started. We were talking about an application you wanted to put together right off the bat. I figure we can, I don't know, tell how to start with that, and how would you begin if you were going to start a new project? And
yeah, so why don't let's do that, and okay, here, Matt.
everyone's bit of the audio too. So
I just put the name of the magazine that I do in Flipboard called Future Game Tech. So if you've got Flipboard, look for Future Game Tech, and that's where I flip all my Oculus Rift VR facing news. I do that every morning for about 10 minutes.
You're into the VR stuff, huh?
I am. I think eventually, part of the reason why I'm getting back into Unity and game development is so that I can eventually make the transition over to VR.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Why VR?
I think that the opportunity to literally immerse somebody into an experience is so powerful, and I think that I've got different or new takes on old stories, right? So like different stories or new stories to tell that haven't been done yet, even old ones with like a new spin.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, we were talking about Three Doors, and I was like, wow, this would make a really cool VR experience.
It would be very visceral almost.
Yeah.
I think that I'm excited for things like walking on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise and walking through the Death Star or things like that. Like, I want to see those kinds of experiences and bring those like cool movie moments in the virtual world that you can walk through. I think that that's neat, and I think that might be the future.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know about walking around on a dish-shaped something or other. I think that's going to be fun and neat, but
it's a fad. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It'll come and go, and it'll be something for the arcades.
Yeah.
Or something like more of a community experience.
Have you seen? Hold on, I'm going to go find this on my bit here while we kind of get ready. It is called.
We've got 5 minutes to build a game here.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to get to a full build, but you know what? I'll send the link out later. It's in my Future Game Tech magazine. Okay, so what do you want to work on this morning, George? Brian. What the hell?
So for those that are watching, my full name is Brian George Foster. Chris insists on calling me George. You can call me anything. You can call me anything you want. So it's fine.
Brian, you can call me Lynn. That's my middle name.
All right, Lynn. Show me. Well, we were talking about Three Doors, and you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I know people that chimed in. There was an image of Devil on there, and what is this idea? And what could you go through? Maybe a brief overview of this game that you're trying to create.
I will, and I'll go full screen with it for a second. So, actually, I pulled this image off of drawshop.com, which is a vector art warehouse kind of a place. Anyway, so I had this. I was thinking, like, man, I want to make something simple. I want to make something that's really just one tap gameplay. But the concept came to me that the most annoying thing in life right now is ads, right? Because they're so invasive. They're in everything that you do. I was like, let's make a game where the ads are the bad guy. And so the idea was like, basically, behind one door is nothing. Behind a second door is some tokens or some reward, and then behind the third door is an ad that pops up on your screen, and then you can pay tokens to get rid of it. So there's a miniature economy going on where basically you feel like you have a 1/3 chance to be able to progress forward, a 1/3 chance to be penalized and progress forward, and a 1/3 chance to get rewarded and move forward. And so it feels like there's this equal chance all the way around. And so basically after you click through and you get your result, you get 3 more doors with the results randomly mixed. So that's really the idea. And then I added this devil guy because I realized that if I did this, people might hate me personally. So I had to come up with a character so that people would wrap their head around what's the right word? Sublimate the emotions towards a character as opposed to towards me. And so
misdirect their hostility somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. So and then I thought, let's just go ahead and take that all the way and make it a devil, and you're basically trying to escape hell by clicking through these doors. And then
this art looks very cool. Did you do this yourself?
No, I pulled this devil guy off of drawshop.com.
Okay, cool.
And that's one of the resources that I jump into to get either free or cheap art.
Okay.
There's a few of those. I'll actually compile a link somewhere, but generally, if you do a search for indie game art or free 3D models or free vector in Google, you'll come back with a few different repositories. And so,
okay, cool.
I usually have an idea before I go there what exactly I'm looking for.
Right.
Sometimes I just do a Google search. Sometimes it's basically... Actually, that's how I found this. I did a Google search for devil business and something or other, and then I was like, oh, Draw Shop, I could just actually go buy this vector art, right?
That devil means business for sure.
That's right. He looks pretty happy. So also, you'll notice here that I'm in Keynote. And so now I start to do, since I'm sort of mobile focused, it's not the right aspect ratio, but it's a nice way for me to quickly mock things up, right? One of the things that's missing here is actually, to me, let's do this. I'll actually hide this one out. Oh, hold on. I just hit Command D, by the way, to duplicate the slide, right? And then basically, if I wanted to do something like what the transition for this is, I'll actually go into it and then turn this into something like, right? And so if I can take this as far as I want, as far as how this prototype's going to go and what the flow is going to be, right? But I think what I want to do is, let's see if I can do this.
Chris, would you mind sharing your screen with me on Skype? Could you do that?
Sure.
I might just turn off the Twitch because I would be on a delay.
Oh, you're on the delay right now. You know what?
I'm on a delay for the Twitch, not on the Skype. Like I can hear you, but I'm 20 seconds behind what you're actually doing. I don't know if you could share the screen on Skype and then.
Yep. Hold on a
cool.
second. Let's try
Sorry to
this.
interrupt.
No, it's okay. Where is that? Is that?
It should be.
I should be able to share my screen, right?
Yes, definitely. Anybody out there in the audience know how to share a screen? It'd be a good time.
Oh, conversations. Got it.
Right click on your current calls. Underneath current calls there's a call with the clock on. There you go. And then right click and then hit share screen.
Yep. You got it. All right, how you doing there? You got it? Put you back up in the corner. How's that look?
It's just no video, right? Maybe you need to click your video button at the bottom there, too. There's a little camera icon.
Okay. Right. So now...
yeah, I see you. I just don't see your screen.
Try this again.
This is a good first episode, by the way.
Yes.
We're learning. We're going. Okay, now I see me. I'm huge.
It's fantastic.
All All right, yeah, I think if you just minimize that the Skype screen, and then I'll be able to see the.
How's that?
There we go. Now we're ready to go.
All right, right on. Oh, Matt, that's not true. You can share anything via Twitch that you think is not interesting because it's you, and I'm sure you'll find some viewers. It's just a matter of how far you're willing to go. Anyway, okay, so let's get started on this. So, actually, this is a good place for us to start, Brian. So, there's one thing that I always do ahead of time, and I usually do this on paper. And you'll see some of these on my blog. I keep a blog mainly so that I can I take pictures of my paper notes, and I post them to my blog so that I can go back and reference them later.
Cool. Great idea.
And one of the things that I do is like basically I subscribe to the sort of to the essence and pillars process. So when what's the X statement or the essence of what I'm trying to make, and then what are the three things that it should accomplish, right? So if we were going to do this for 3 doors, let's just call it this one. I would do. Let's actually change this to numbers. Actually, I won't change the numbers. It doesn't matter. So, adds of the enemy, fast.
These are 3 basic themes that this game is going to hit, or this application is going to hit.
Correct. And
the main like top level stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And I think so this is not something I would necessarily share with the player, which is usually what I try to make the pillars about. But for me, this one is actually
correct.
Okay, so I wanted to find also that this is a nice thing about that is if I'm going through doors at 1 per second, then essentially I have an opportunity, or at least as a game maker, I have a 1/3 opportunity to show an ad. And so it's kind of interesting because, like I said, remember earlier I said I wanted to add Satan as the sort of displacement of anger is because my relationship with the user or the player is direct in this case, right? So if I were to make this a board game, it would look something like it would be a shell game, right? It's 3 card Monty,
Yep,
right? So like I'm essentially saying, I'm going to screw you with one of these. One of these is nothing, and the other one is the ace, right?
Find the red queen. Find the ace.
Absolutely. So let's call this. Let's see. To me, that's the essence of this. It's mobile 3 card Monty.
MONTE.
Whoops. 3 card money. Money.
I'll take 3 card of money too. Man.
Right?
Yep, there you go.
Or Monty, like Carlo. Anyway, it's so it's mobile 3 card Monty, basically, right? And so like the fantasy of this, none of this is ever going to be consumer facing, right? You and I can talk about this, and we can talk about this on Twitch, and it's one of those things where we'll say like, what is this game actually? And the fantasy of what this is probably more interesting to the consumer, which is like, oh, I gotta escape hell, and right, like they'll pick up subconsciously on what these pillars are, and etc. Like no problem, right? So you don't have to come out and say this stuff to the player. So, basically they know what they're signing up for. At some point, I'd be surprised if I showed this game to somebody who plays a lot of mobile apps. And they spent 20 seconds with it. They would say, wow, it's like 3 card Monty, right? And like, wow, and ads are the enemy. Or at least, if we're successful in what we're building, that's the result. Is they come back with, it's like 3 card Monty, and like ads are the penalty or the enemy, right? And fuck Satan, that asshole. right? Because then, like, that's where the disconnect is. That's where we shift blame to the fantasy as opposed to me, right?
Right.
So instead of standing on the street doing 3-card Monty, I've basically put on a double mask, and I'm doing 3-card Monty. So let's get into actually, let me do one last thing because I think let's duplicate this. I'm going to try and do everything with right clicks so that people can see what I'm doing instead of doing hotkeys. And if I do hotkeys, I'll try and call them out for you
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
because I realize that I do things.
Right now we're in Keynote still,
Yeah,
right?
we're still in Keynote. Actually, I'm going to do this.
So now, are you able to take these elements that you're building in Keynote and use them in the final product?
No, I don't. I probably could if I worked hard at it, but it's faster for me to do it in Photoshop and save it into a format that
Right.
that is more efficient or ready to go. So this is probably more like what the game screen looks like, and then let's add a. So there's a couple of things I'm doing here that I'm making decisions about. The goal of the game is to get through 10,000 doors, right?
Mhm.
And then I don't know what the reward is, but I'll have to figure that out.
I agree with Matt Lee here saying that Satan is less annoying than grow your penis 3 times with these pills ads.
This is true, but now you can blame Satan for giving you the grow your penis 3 times with the pill ad.
That's the one that's been sending those to you, Matt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's behind it all. Here we go. Let me do this one. This is. Let's just call this. Let's be optimistic and say that you've got 15 tokens. And then I think we basically have our game screen here. Right? Or at least what we want it to be. Like now I've got the full image of how I want it to go, right?
Much easier to see it visually like this.
Yeah, and you can kind of understand what the game screen's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let me do. So I'm hitting Command D, which is duplicate, but I'll just do it by mouse here. Then I think what we need to do is here. I'll do. Where's the format window? Do that. Let's change this to, let's say green. We'll just make that the green one, right? Result.
So just an empty door?
Yeah. And you can see, like, I'm not going to go through this the whole way because I think it's maybe not that great for the viewers at some point. But you can see I can, like, mock up almost all of my, gameplay screens here just to sort of even organize how I want things to eventually show up, right? This one will be, like, tokens. Wait, did that not? Oh, okay. It's just a shitty color. Yeah.
You should be behind that door.
Right. It probably is. Okay, so there's tokens and then
Ads. Or ad, right?
Plus add, right. White, bold. Okay. Oh, it gave me bullets for that. Okay, that's why. Okay, does everybody get that? Is everybody with me? Okay. So now let's go over to Unity and start talking about how we're going to do this, right? So George, you have a little bit of Unity.
Right.
I have a 3 doors project. Let's just go open that up.
I'm still Brian.
Sorry, Brian. Oh my God,
Yes,
that's
I have. I should open up a new.
yeah. You should open up a new Unity. We're gonna do a couple of
Is that a
things.
new scene then? Sorry, I don't mean to be like totally.
No, that's okay. So like, I just created a new project called Three Doors, and it's basically the default scene. I did not add any assets in here. So one of the reasons why I do that is I know I'm probably going to need lights and some other sort of standard prefabs, but I don't want to make that decision until I get more of a structure going. And then
You want the defaults to be 3D
yes, choose the
Okay.
default to be 3D.
and then create project.
Yeah, here. You know what? Let me start a new project and I'll just show you. New project. Let's call this
New folder.
Twitch example project. You'll see it's in my user folder. Set the defaults for 3D or 2D. I have so many packages now that it's just not even worth me going through this rigmarole, right? Because I don't need them right away anyway. Okay, I'm just going to set it up. So create that project.
You can add those after the fact then?
Say what?
You can add those packages after the fact?
You
then?
can. So like once you sort of, I'm going to show you how to use the asset store today. So, and once you get comfortable with that, I don't even bother with this initial setup. I just start empty, and I start to sort of flesh things out, right?
Right.
So
Do you name the scene anything different than the project file, or is there a reason you do that? Because the way I see scenes is how I'd see a composition in After Effects. That's kind of my reference right now.
yeah. So like, basically, think about it this way: the project contains all of the potential clay you're going to put into your sculpture, right? And the scenes are like a sequence of pieces. So you can have one scene load another scene, right?
And like scenes within scenes, like nest them in.
Yes. So, actually, you can't do scenes within scenes.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so, unless you run a separate process and then have it in a window, right? But at that point, like they won't embed in that way. So basically, your scene is, a small container for your project. Hold on, I'm gonna get more coffee.
Sure.
So, yeah. You're doing a great job asking me these questions, Brian, because the thing is I take a lot of this crap for granted.
Yeah. And as far as I've gotten Unities, I've put images in there and I've played switching between the 2D and the 3D mode, and it looks cool. That's
Right.
about it.
Okay. So I'll explain all of this as I go, right? So you see that there's nothing in this assets folder down here,
Right.
right? So this is my project area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your project is basically all the assets that you have access to, right? One interesting thing, you see this find bar over here?
Yes.
Okay, watch this. Monkey. And then this tab here, Asset Store, it'll show you what's in the Asset Store.
So wait, what did you type in that bar?
So I typed monkey into the search field, right? Or let's just call it. Actually, give me a random noun.
Hat.
Hat. Okay. So over here under search, it says assets, and it's looking in my asset folder, right? If I had another folder in there, it would show up here. But you can also go and look on the asset store, and it has them divided by free assets, which is this field here, and then down here, paid assets, right? So one of the things I can do right now is like, oh, there's a crappy party hat. Let's drag this into my scene, right? And I think that's how this works. Let me see.
I could take a
Oh, there we go.
Drag this into my scene.
Yeah, actually, it's underneath your face. Yeah, let's drag it over. Is import package, right? So I can hit import.
Okay, so I click on that. I hit import package,
Yep.
and then you gotta.
And then it should start loading it over here, right? You see this this progress window.
log in, I guess.
You do need to log in, yes. Mine just auto logs me in. I'm not forgetting about the chat screen. I'm just popping over every once in a while. Okay.
Yeah, there's no chat. I'm checking on that too. Maybe I need to create an account. Did I not do that yet? Maybe I didn't connect to the Asset Store yet.
Oh.
So you can just move on to what you're doing. I can do this
Okay.
while you're...
So I am importing these assets into my scene now. And if you watch, there was my pinwheel of death. So it's importing everything in the 2 million user party pack, right? But you'll also see down here under hat, which is a super generic field, there's 1,006 total paid assets down here,
Tons of them.
right? So there's plenty of ways to sort of browse this store. So you can actually look, using this thumbnail view, and you see this little slider bar down here? Like it's at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you can make your thumbnails really big so you can actually get a better look at the different assets, right? Oh, look at that sweet glowing purple leather hat.
Yeah.
It's like, in fact, look at these 3 hats right next to each other. They look like a texture replace. But I enjoy this sort of a view better because I can actually read pretty quickly. So, like, I just want to see the names.
You want to try a devil? See if there's a devil in there or a door?
I haven't done. Let's see what these look like. I didn't do it this way. As far as that's a pretty sweet devil skull.
It's creepy, yeah.
It's pretty.
Is that 3D then?
It is 3D. That's pretty bitchin', dude. I want to use that for something else. How much is it? It's $35. It's got to be in some other asset pack. So there's nothing for free under devil. Let's try door. Right? Oh, look at all these free doors. Miscellaneous exit door. Let's make these icons kind of big. I'm actually going to line this up. Do a little shopping, right? There's a door material. So anytime you see something like this, Brian, and it just looks like a generic ball, it's the same thing. It's a material. You probably have the same thing in After Effects or, it's the same shit. It's just an example, right?
Yeah, it's just a texture, right?
Yeah, it's a texture on a ball, but actually materials are a little bit more than that.
Okay.
They have other properties that come with them. So a texture, you'll get, I think it comes over. I think it does show on a material ball like this, but I'm not sure. I never look for things quite like that. So this is actually not the way I shop the asset store. You can do it this way, like if you think you might find what you need on the instant, and it has a high likelihood of being in the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a door is probably likely, but the thing is it's very hard to sort or sort of adjust your search this way, right?
Right.
Okay, you see these blue cubes down here at the bottom of my screen? No.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's a prefab. Are you familiar with prefabs yet?
No, please.
Okay. Which also makes it hard to. Yeah. Actually, let's come back to prefabs in a minute when I start building 3 doors, and that's a hugely important part of things, and I don't want to gloss over it. So let me open up a new window here, and if you go to assetstore.unity3d.com, right, in your browser window, that'll take you to the same asset store that you can get to in the game. in the game engine, right?
Okay, so I'm in the asset store already. How do I get back to the scene?
Oh, okay. So did it pop up an asset store window?
I'm on an asset store. It's got a tab at the top. I'm still in Unity, but it
Yes.
looks like it's like a browser page. Yeah.
Yes. So if you go to Window, right, Asset Store, which is where you're at now, I'm just going to visually catch up to you.
Sure.
Right? It opens up this Asset Store, which is probably what you've got here, and I'm logged in as well. So is this what you see?
Yes, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, mine it does the images on it, but Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so I skipped a step. I opened up this URL in my browser, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So let's say, let's go back to Devil, right? And use their search piece. One of the things that annoys me the most about this is I can't sort my searches, right?
Oh, really?
There's no way to sort or filter these searches.
Oh, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, it seems like a strange omission, especially when you're doing something web-based, right?
Yeah.
But I'll look at these pictures and go, oh, Minion from Hell, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Soul Eater, that looks more like a dragon, space agents. Okay, I'm not really finding what I'm kind of looking for.
Uptown Devil looks like Diablo.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of knockoffs in here. So here's a horror pack. Oh, these are cute little cartoony guys. That's not exactly what I was looking for, but there's a nice looking devil in here.
Yeah, I
Right.
see this guy. Funky looking.
Yeah, this clown guy's really, really fucking creepy. And Brain Girl's nice. Anyway, there's a lot of really cool. Say what?
The clown is disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, but it's $55, and I don't want to spend $55 just to get one devil thing out of there. I will wait to. I'll sort of remember this next time I want to make a horror Halloween game or something.
Yeah.
It says Mechanim in here, so I think it also comes with animations, right? So that makes it that makes the $55 probably more worth it. Now you see up here, add to wish list. I'm not going to add it to my wish list because I'm not that hot on it.
Right.
But you can add things and come back and look for them later.
That's just your favorites, basically.
Yeah, it's like basically a pre-shopping cart shopping cart.
Yeah, totally.
So here's my wish list, and actually we could probably spend 20 minutes going through this. We won't do it today, but I'll go through my wish list and tell you why I put these things on there.
Great.
At some point, right? But there's some stuff in here that's like, oh, that's pretty cool, or that's not,
Yeah, we could just touch on the
Yep.
overarching idea here, and
Yep.
Monster Planning style. I can see why you'd want that one.
Yeah, right? Okay, so the reason that I do there's a couple of things here. The reason I go to Google Chrome and do the asset store this way is once I do a search, right? Like let's say let's try Old Man, right? Okay. What I'll do from here is instead of linear browsing, which is basically going into, say, this one, right? And I didn't really like that. And then hitting back on the browser, which is what you'd have to do inside Unity. I do this. Right click, open that in a new tab. Okay, I'm going to open this one in a new tab.
Let's have a bunch of
Let's
tabs
check
open.
this one out, right? Then I'll check this one out. Sometimes I'll do open a new window when I'm super excited, and I'll be like, oh, I want to go look at this right now, right? And it's just a little bit more free as far as the browsing, and it updates faster. Inside Unity, it's
right, yeah.
yeah. Inside Unity, it's a pain in the ass. Jesus Christ, it looks like not the most modern asset. I was going to be a little bit more critical, but
It looks pretty cool though.
it was pretty cool. It was good. And just the fidelity is a little bit retro. And then I'll go through my tabs, right? And I'll go, oh yeah, that's great, or like it, don't like it, add it to my wish list, kill the tab, right?
Is this a 3D old man they had up there?
That was a 3D old man, yeah. Here's
And
that.
these motion packs, I'm assuming that's just animation, or specifically animation?
That is correct. And so over here on the right side are all your categories, right?
Right.
And I'm going to show you a couple things here. So for me, there are two things that I use to, well, actually there's several things that I use to make things faster for myself, and one of them is under scripting. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. It's not scripting. Editor extensions, visual scripting, right? There are a couple of leaders in this category that people really like. I think Playmaker by far is the most popular, but the one that I like to use is, you'll see there's lots of competition out here now, is called UScript. And that looks like this. So it's another visual scripting tool. Right? I'll show you both of these in the editor in a second. Oh my god, look at that spaghetti. Anyway, it's $100, but it was I got it when it was $50 in beta, so people have a tendency to do that. But for me, it's worth it because it makes things so much faster as far as like being able to prototype stuff, as opposed to going to like writing C# text, right? Same.
It's node based.
It's very node based, right?
Okay, cool.
And then Playmaker is kind of the same thing, but this is state-based, right? So state nodes, basically, you can create like a state machine, right? So you see this door FSM in this picture. So FSM stands for finite state machine, right? And so finite state machine.
It's how one thing is in a state, and then something happens, and it's in another state.
Correct. And I think the finite part, is really just academia for it doesn't go forever,
Right.
right? It may loop, but it's finite in its bounds.
You could create an infinite loop if you wanted to, but technically it's one move.
Yes. So, but it's a state machine, right? And so a state machine basically is, I'll show you some things. So Playmaker is also paid, and it's $45.
Okay.
Playmaker has the most additions onto it, so people can make additions to say like they make these state machines, and they can put them in the store, or like make modules for it, and they sell their own modules. It's not the Hutong Game Company that's doing it. It's like somebody that said like, oh, here's my door modules, boom, and they put them up. Right. Or this is my add-on to this. So anyway, I'm gonna make this smaller. Let's go back to Unity. Now, there's a couple of ways that you need to understand using the Unity Asset Store piece in here, right? So let's say I bought that on the web. It would go to here. Here, I'll pretend to buy this Mixamo Fuse. Okay, we'll go here. You buy it for $100, and then you get this thing. You check out, right? And then I'm gonna do this. 0. Continue shopping. I should kill my shopping cart. I'll kill that later. Anyway, once you've bought something in a Unity Asset Store, it does like I showed you earlier, where it did the import assets, right? And you see that I got this party pack that I downloaded earlier. It does that whole thing, but what if I say like go here and I'm like, I don't need this anymore, and I just hit delete. Like, oh shit, I've deleted it. Where the fuck did it go? Right? What am I going to do? Well, come back here, go to your asset store. It'll also give you a warning, like when you delete something, it's permanently gone. And what they mean is you can't hit Alt-Z and undo it. But they're not saying you can't undo this, you're forever going to lose this asset to the ether, right?
That's good, because I think I thought I've lost it a bunch of times.
I did too. It took me a little while to go like, oh my god, I just lost all of this work because I just deleted it and all this other stuff, and like, but what they mean is that you can't hit like Control Z or Command Z and undo the delete, right? So now we have to go back to this screen, and you see this. It looks like an inbox with like an arrow pointing down at the top here. So it's like back, forward, home, inbox, shopping cart. Heart, go to this, and this shows you everything that you've bought in the asset store, right? You can see that I've got a lot of stuff, but a lot of it's free, some of it's not free, but you can group it by title or by category, so that you can go through your own stuff and sort of be able to filter through exactly what you want, right? But I usually just go by title because I know exactly what I want and where it's going to be. What was that? That was the 2. Well, actually, it was a party pack, right? Party pack, 2 million user party pack. I don't need to download it again. It has this button here. You can hit that button if you think that you've actually lost some assets, right?
It doesn't have to have been deleted from like your folder or something.
No, don't even worry about it. But if this button says update, that means that there's a newer version available.
And you want the newer version.
Well, it depends. We should, depending on what it is, you may or may not want the newer version right away, right?
We'll take note of that. We might talk about that next time.
Yeah. So I'm going to import this and keep going. So there's all the assets that I'm going to import. And an interesting thing about this screen is you can choose to not import certain things. Right? Like, let's say I just want the party hat. I'm going to click None. Let's get... is there a prefab in here? I don't see any prefabs. It's a fucking hat. Party hat. Green material. Let's just grab everything that says party hat. Party hat. Let's get these. Oh, screw it. Let's go all. I'll import it all. I was just, you can choose to bring stuff in or not bring stuff in. Alright, so it's going to take a second.
Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, there's like a whole 15 minutes to talk about why you should or shouldn't download or update things, depending on what's going on.
We'll definitely hit that next week. We'll kind of like keep track of those things that we
Yes.
spend more time on.
You can for sure screw yourself over, so I want to kind of go over it first before you get too deep into it.
Right.
We're going to be very, very directed about the things that we bring into this scene, even though I've just brought in this party pack scene that we absolutely don't need.
Right.
So anyway,
That's an example. I see. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good idea.
but
We're
we're going to be very, very careful. So I'm going to go click. So you see, I brought in this party pack, and it's got all these subfolders, right? Let's go to their scenes and see their party pack screen. Yeah, I'm not going to save this current scene because I didn't do anything. Let's hit the play button up here. Right? Oh, okay, it's got music. Alright. Turn these gizmos off. Woo! It's Unity! Party! 2 million users. Fantastic. Okay. And then there's a particles pack example. So I think this is going to be poppers.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, these are decent examples because I think these particle systems are... There's a couple of interesting... Oh, that fourth one's not firing. One sec. I'm not getting any errors. We can debug that later if we need to, but I'll show you that later. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to... I'm gonna make a new scene, and then I'm gonna save this scene. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a good habit right now. You start a new scene, right? It's not automatically saved, right? It's just called new scene, right? The first thing I do is I save the scene, right, and then give it a name.
Yeah.
Right, so that I don't assume that it's been saved later on after like an hour and a half of work. Right, walk away and then like the power goes out and then you pull your hair out and punch yourself in the dick.
So here's a question for you: if you save the scene like you just did,
yep.
Is there an option to have it automatically save every 2 minutes or something?
Yes, but there are different things that automatically save by action. So every time you hit play, it saves your scene.
Okay.
I think that every time you compile scripts, it saves, but I have a tendency to hit Command S just reflexively, just all the time. I hit save all the time. And I don't bother going up here, like you won't see me do it on screen, like I won't hit save scene here necessarily. You'll just see me you'll just hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now let's bring in, I'm going to delete this because we don't really need extra right now, and we're going to make, let's make our 3D world, okay?
Great.
Game object, create 3D object, right? I'm
Let me run with you here. So create a 3D object and you're creating a plane.
Yep. And there's our ground. Right? Let's look at it from above. On the side, it's infinitely thin. Right?
Sorry, can I back you up a second?
You sure can.
Okay, so it's at the top menu, or the top menu bar. I'm going to go to Assets, Create.
It says Game Object, 3D Object, Create a Plane.
It's not a Create Other. It's not giving me Create 3D Object.
Under Game Object?
Yeah, under Game Object, I only have 4 options. I have Create Empty, Create Empty Child, Create Other, and then it opens up to a bunch of different things, and then Move to View.
That's interesting. Hold on. Let me delete this plane. What about over here under the Hierarchy tab? Do you have the Hierarchy tab?
I do have the Hierarchy tab.
Okay, there's a Create button there.
Got it.
3D Object.
3D Object is not an option. It's like it's 3D text, but I've got like cube, sphere, capsule, cylinder. Oh, plane. It just doesn't say 3D Object.
Okay. I think you are on an older version of Unity.
Got it. But it's a plane that we're creating, right?
Yes. Create a plane.
Okay, got that.
Okay. I will. Hold on.
Did you switch to a 2D view or something on that?
I did. I'll show you that right here in a second. So, you see the up here in my scene view
Yep.
is the different axes, right?
Yep.
X-axis, Y-axis, Z-axis. I always forget the colors, and then in the middle there's a cube, right? And that's the one that turns you from like orthographic or ISO, basically flat projection or perspective, right? It's basically isometric or perspective, but it changes your camera mode from like
So how are you using that eyeball to move the camera around?
right, which is the next thing. So there are a couple of hotkeys you do need to get into. Actually, there's thought there was a button to do it, like a mouse button, but there's not. Okay, so for me it's Alt, right, or Option. You're on a Mac, right?
Yeah, so Apple or Command. Yeah.
No, Option. So it's Option or Alt, right?
Option.
Right. And you hold that down, and it'll give you this eyeball.
Very cool. Got it.
Right, and then that will orbit whatever. I think what's in the center of the screen. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. Shall we make 3 doors real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to make a 3D object, cube. Okay. Here's another thing.
Making a cube now. Okay.
Yeah. So here's another thing for you. I'm going to. Yeah, let's stick with this. Okay, so I use the middle mouse button, right, by the way, to give me this hand to pan around.
Okay. I don't
Okay.
even have a middle mouse button.
Oh, there's another way to do it. Hold on.
I guess let's just click to the hand there, right?
Yeah, so Alt Option will give you the hand if you hold those both together. But yeah, you can just click to the hand up here, move your scene around, right? Here's another thing for you, Brian, is I now have the cube selected over here, right? If you double...
So for Mac, sorry, that's Command Option on the Mac to do the hand. Sorry about that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
If you double click your object in the hierarchy, it'll zoom to keep it
Cool.
centered, right?
That's a great move, yeah.
Yeah. Where is that? Oh, there it is. F also does that, but I generally just double click because I'm selecting it anyway. Right?
Cool.
Okay. Now the cube looks short. I'm gonna actually make this window a little bit smaller so I can see it underneath your head for a second. I'm gonna drop this over here. You notice the Unity interface is pretty customizable. You can do what you want with it.
Yeah, I love it.
And in fact, I'm going to do this to ditch. This is probably better for casting anyway. Okay. Put game here. All right. So here's the inspector view for my cube, right? This over to the side, and you'll see that it's got scale dimensions of 1, 1, 1, right? But actually, I'm going to make this window a little smaller so I can work with everything together. Okay, except that it looks kind of short, right?
Right.
That's because half the cube is underneath the world, right?
Wow.
And when I created it, when you create by this method here, create empty or 3D object, it automatically puts it in the center of the world at 0, 0, 0, right? So you'll see that everything starts to overlap. And I created another, I think I created a capsule.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a capsule. All right, let's delete it.
You could find a lot of use from just those 3D objects, it seems. I mean,
You,
we're getting ideas.
if your brain is good at working sort of Legos,
Yeah.
right, you can do a lot of stuff. Because now what I'm about to show you is these sort of bits up here, right? This is rotate, and then just like you know, your other 3D packages, it gives you sort of handles that you can do for rotation, right?
Awesome.
But also notice the inspector at the top right of the screen is changing to show me what rotation it's at, right? This is important because at some point this section here called transform is one of the things that you're going to control from script.
Is that like keyframing, sort of, but through script?
Yeah, I could tell it to move. So see that it's 0.5 meters or 0.5 units above the world, like above
Right.
0. You know, you could tell it to move to 5 units. Sorry, I'm going to have to zoom out, right? And like interpolate that so it'll smoothly go from one to the other, or immediately go there, right? Just by changing that value, and it'll do
Yeah.
it in game. Right? In fact, here, we'll do this. We'll put the game view up next to the hierarchy view over here as well, right? And I'll put the inspector here so that you can see that here's this is the cube. It's unlit. I'm gonna add something. Don't worry about this right now. Okay. You can't see stuff if you don't have a light,
Right.
right? So that's where that is. But you have to add one to your scene so you can see things. Anyway, so you'll see this play button is down, which means I'm in play mode, right? So I'm going to move it back to 0.5, which is just above the world. Let's go to 0.6. You know, and basically I'm showing you that if I change the properties of this thing, it even while it's running, it will change, right? So basically that's what you're going to do when you script, is you're going to change the properties of these objects.
Well, got it.
Right? And the script is basically there because you can't be there to do this.
Right.
Right? So if you could imagine this as like a multiplayer console and I'm on this thing as the game master, I'd be moving everything around. I could do it through this, right?
Right.
Okay. That's not 100% accurate, but that's close enough for disco. Okay, let me drop this back in. We're going to add that light back in because basically you can't see anything unless you have a light.
So we should add the light.
Yes, so add a light.
So is that create a light, or the point light is what you're using, or directional?
I'm using a directional light. So one thing of note about the directional light, it is not necessarily, it does have a source here, which comes into play in some instances, but you can assume that essentially it's infinitely lighting the world.
Yeah, I see that where the source goes. I'm assuming you could change all that stuff too.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to show you a couple things. So you see this up here, it says pivot, and it's center, local. There's like 2 toggle buttons here, right? Okay, so I'm going to take my mouse over move, right? Move it on the global axis up, right? Watch my inspector. See that with the Y is incrementing up, right? Okay, notice that the cube on my screen is not changing shadow-wise.
Right.
Right? It's being lit from that direction no matter where the light source is.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now I am going to show you another thing. This toggle is important, this global local toggle, right? Because now you'll see that my axis on the screen for the light changed to, hold on, let me turn off these light gizmos. Nope, let me turn this light back on. Turn that off for a second. No, yeah, there we go. Okay, see that the axis is all skewed, right? It's aligned to the object. So let's say for some reason I want to move this light just away. Here, let's go to, okay, I'm going to set the challenge out in front of us right now. I'm going to move the light up, right? And move it away from the box so that it's pointed directly at it.
Okay.
Okay. So here, let's move it up so I can visually see that it's, you know, sort of above the box, right? Let's go on this plane, right? And then what I'm going to do is switch this to local, and I just want it to be farther away in direction from the box. Do you see that?
Yep.
So instead of doing like global, like, oh shit, I need to move it this way and then that way, and then okay, I need to sort of adjust it here. I'm going to move it in relationship to itself, right? So sideways along its own track. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to rotate it on global so that it spins. Right? See that? Actually, let's move it down a little bit so I can get both things on screen. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate it on global. Right? See how the shadow changes on the box?
What are you using for the hotkey for rotate?
Rotate. So these 5 buttons at the top, right, your sort of navigation buttons, is Q for hand, W,
Oh, nice.
E, R, T.
Just across the top. Right?
Just across the top, right? And so you can actually get pretty quick to it with like move, rotate it, move it again, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. So now you've got, let's get this lit this direction again. Also, I could rotate by, see how the green line rotates around it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, that's all fine and good. We still don't have a door. Let's get to a door. Okay. I'm going to change this to door. I'm going to move a little.
Just rename that one.
Yep. I'm going to move this to the floor. We're going to zoom in on it. I'm going to make sure everything is at 0. So, like, I am a stickler for when I first make objects, I want to make them sort of on a grid, or at least, like, in a very, very set reference point, right? So I do like making things at 0, 0, 0, 0 rotation, 0 everything else, for multiple reasons, and mostly because once you start to combine objects or do other things, you need that reference to be as static as possible.
The 0, 0.
It makes it easier to understand. Oh. How long did that take to desync, Matt? Anyway, as we wait for that response, I'll just keep going here. So a door is typically, let's go look for an image of a door. Right?
Just pull up Google images for that?
Yeah.
Some more coffee.
Yep. Okay. Oh, that's not bad. So just to keep talking, I'm searching doors right now, and I'm looking for example doors and seeing. I'm window shopping for, you know, is there one that I like? Is there something that I think makes sense? Is there something that matches my devil? Brian, can you hear me?
Yep.
So basically, I'm going through the different Google image search categories and seeing if there's a door that I sort of want to glom onto, right? I think the best one, as good as these doors are, actually, is not too bad. Actually, that's pretty good. Is something super generic? That's artsy. Somebody, although there's a missing stroke here. All right, let's just grab one. And I think we just need something generic. That's not exactly right. But proportions is actually what I was looking.
Photoshop too, if you wanted to, right?
Say what?
Could you make one in Photoshop and then maybe use that as an asset too?
Yeah, so Matt's saying I need to find an evil door. You're right. I do need to find an evil door, but first I just need a regular door just to get scale reference. So let's look at it. What do you figure? Let's get her just at this door. You know what? I'm going to go back to not clip art door.
It's not a bad one. You can use a reference of it.
Yeah, actually, I want to go to a real door because the thing is most people know whether you
Put that red one.
this one here.
No, the one it's down like the second row.
This one.
Third row. Nope, left side.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. It looks a little skinny to me though, doesn't it? How about this one? No. So what I was looking at is not so much the art, but I'm looking at the proportions of the doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are sort of really like doors are skinnier than you think they are, or they're skinnier than I thought they are. Anyway, so that looks like what, like one, and I'll do this with my pen. It's like 1 to almost 2, 1 to 1.8, right? Would you say that's the ratio about?
No, you'd probably make a better call of that than I would. But
I'll
yeah.
call it 1 to 1.8. So what I'm going to do is use that ratio as my scale reference for the door. 1.8. So it's 1.8 units tall by 1. So we should have a good...
TARDIS.
Right? Yes, that's right. We have a TARDIS, right? But that should be about the right proportion for the door. The only reason that's important is because I don't want the doors to be the reason that people don't suspend their disbelief. Right? I want it to look like a regular old door. It should feel normal. So my only thing now, though, is that it is a TARDIS. It's not a door. We need to make it thinner. Let's go to 0.1 units, and now we have a door.
So to make it thinner, that would be the scale on the z-axis?
That is correct. So I changed the scale on the z-axis to 0.1, which is 1/10 of the width of the door. And now we have
That looks like a door.
a door. It does look like a door. Okay, so let's move this to 1.8. So what's 1.8 in half? 0.9, correct?
Yep.
And that'll put us directly on the bottom of the world with 0 overlap. Right?
And that was a position change, right? You were trying to put that on the ground.
Correct. Correct.
Just above the ground.
Yes. Actually, it should be exactly on the ground.
Okay.
Because it's 1.8 units tall. You can see here that the pivot is in the middle, which is half of the height. Right? So I just divided the height of the door by 2, which gives me the height that the pivot should be, which is this position. Right? So this position row, right, is the position of where this axis point is.
You could do that visually too, right? I mean, if you move your camera and...
I could. So I could do, like, let's go to the x-axis and look at it from the side, right? Line it up. And then line it up so that the plane that I'm looking at is actually flat, right? And then move it up and down to do this. There are also tools that you can use to settle things, right? But I won't worry about that right now.
That looks good to me.
Yeah, it's like a door. I'm wondering why...
Are you able to duplicate now like you would in another...
I can. In fact, I will do this by mouse first. Duplicate. Move this up. And we make door 2. They don't look right, but we'll fix that in a second. Don't they look inside out?
They do look like they're inside out.
It's a little strange. I'll have to look at it. It might be an issue with my light. So now I'll right-click, duplicate, move this one over. Right? Now, here we go. In my desire and quest for order, let's look at them from the front. They're not exactly equal distance, right?
Right.
So let's pick our first door, which was at 0.9, right? And 0 on Z, right? We're not going to touch the Z one, but we're going to mess with the X one for the right door. So it's 1.215 over. Let's just round that down, 1.2. And this one's going to be at minus 1.2.
Right.
Right? And part of the reason I do this is when I come back to like bug fix or I'm having a problem with something, I can visually look at all the numbers and see that they all match. Right? And then if I see that it says like -3, even though it kind of looks correct, or it's sort of, you know, like let's say it's 1.3, sorry, 0.3, like, oh wait, it looks a little off. Is it off? Yeah, I can visually, like, I know it's supposed to be 1.2. So like I basically build everything initially on a grid, right? You don't have to do that for everything, but for this type of stuff, I start this way, and that way I know exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay, well that doesn't quite look like hell yet. Let's actually turn this more like into a path. So if I wanted to do the math, I would add the widths of these doors plus the distance in between them, right? But in this case, I am just going to wing it, especially since, let's see, it's going to be about 0.5. 0.5, not 5. No, so let's try 4, 3, let's see, 0.35. Okay, there we go. Now we've got something that kind of looks like a path, right?
Yeah.
And it holds the doors on it. And the reason I want to put a path down is even if we don't have, don't visually show it, I want to at least have a ground plane so in case I want to move stuff on it, it has collision, right?
Right.
But let's put it into Z by 100, and now we have an infinite hell path.
So Z at 100 on your scale for something like that puts you at an infinite?
No, it just looks infinite from the camera
Looks
point
like
of view.
it. Got it. So
Right.
perspective thing.
Right. And see the camera preview down here?
Cool. How do you
Right.
pull the camera preview then?
So I selected the camera, the main camera here in the world. But this is also the same view as the game view.
Cool.
Right? But you can see the preview down here and say like, oh, okay, there's the camera preview. But let's go back to the game view. Like, okay, that looks about right. Let's look at these doors. You know what's, I think what's missing from these doors is, let's talk about materials. It's got to be it. Is like, I think it's either that or the light. Let's look at the light.
Is the light not in front of those guys?
No, the light is pointed directly at the door jamb. So technically the front and back face aren't lit, which is why it looks oddball. So let's give the light a little spin.
There you go.
And if I wanted to be a real stickler for this kind of thing, it would be like 45, 50 on X, and 0 gives that. I'm being anal retentive right now, so just go with me. Okay, so now we have our doors.
I know what you're doing. Yeah.
We have our doors. Okay, now the background is blue. Let's change that because I want it to be more hellish and not blue. So I could do. Let me back up. I went a little fast. So select your main camera. Go to the camera properties over here. There's a color background piece here. Go to black. Right? Or this looks like works like any other color picker. You can go to red. You can go to blackish red, which I think I'm going to stick with. It's not full black. It's not full red.
Cool.
Okay, are we into it?
Yeah, I'm following along. Yeah, nice.
Okay, now, doors are kind of plain. Let's dress them up a little bit. Let's say I'm going to create a new folder down here. So I went to my assets folder. I right-clicked on it, create, and you'll see at the top is now a folder. Create this folder. We're going to call this resources. So the reason I create this folder is when you go to do scripting, the default folder it looks for is resources. Now,
Just what the code says.
yeah, it's a couple of different packages. Everybody looks for this default resources folder, which is strange because Unity doesn't auto-create it for you. Whatever, right? Like it just creates it empty. Anyway, let's go back to Google, and let's get let's say this door. Let's see if I can. What if I can drag this in? No, didn't like that. Okay.
Something you want to do, like as you're in a normal process, would you want to do the textures right now, or would you want to start animating this and making the gameplay assets and then texture it, or?
It depends. It's really it just comes down to how important that art's going to be for moving forward, right? So what we could do right now is instead of doing that is let me go to door, pick the door color. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the asset store. Asset store. And I actually pulled one of these down the other day, so I'll bring it in. I was just kind of using that example as something to use as a teaching meme.
Is this actually a door image or a door texture?
It is a full door prefab. Hey Matt, so you can't do a gradient color shift the way that I just through this color picker. So this color picker is just a straight up background color. You can do the alpha, but since it's the background, there's nothing to show behind it, so there's no reason to really do anything with the alpha. To get what you're talking about, you have to do something like a skybox or another. Basically, you're going to have to do something else besides just this background color to do a gradient. But are you asking me to do black at the top and red towards the bottom as a aesthetic look and show that? Let me import that door. And you see the door comes with a model, a material, and 2 texture maps.
Cool.
Right. Bring this in. So what I can do, I'm going to show you a tricky trick. All right, I have this is the door prefab here, right? And you see it shows up as a picture here, but there's this little arrow on it.
Yeah.
On the side. I'm going to make this icon bigger so you can see this. This arrow on the side shows you that that it's a prefab, right? And B, all the pieces that make up this prefab. Right? So like what's in it? Oh, there's a door model. There's the animation. There's an avatar in here for some reason. I don't know what all that stuff does, but let's look at it. So if you do it this way, let's go back to like a list view. Right? See how I've done this list view? Zoom slider at the bottom. Right? It's basically thumbnails or a list view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. List view, you could actually just do it this way. You think it'd look better? I've got something else planned for this, and I'll show you that in a second because I'll pull it in. But I could do a gradient background in Photoshop again. But I'll show you that in a second. So here's the door prefab. I'm going to drag it into the world.
I'm going to put put that as a note for the next one for the gradient shift.
Yeah, because we're gonna run out of time here pretty soon. But
Yeah,
so
we had
let's.
about 20 minutes.
Yep, that's why I was like, let's get to something a little bit more exciting at some point. Like, let me do something for the world instead of the gradient shift, and I think you guys will dig this. We're not going to get to scripting. Well, actually, I'm going to touch on scripting today, but we're not going to do much with it because that gets its own at least 30 minutes just to intro it.
Sure.
So you'll see I have a door here. It's above my other door, but me being anal retentive, I want to make sure that it's aligned how I want it. So it's 0.5. Actually, that was probably the best way. You'll see that its axis is down at this corner, right?
Yeah, you can move that around now.
Yeah, but the thing is it's going to have totally different world placement than the door, because the door has, the one that we made has axis in the middle, and this one has it on the corner, right?
Right.
Now, there's a reason they did that is because I think there's an animation attached to this, and that's where it's going to spin, right?
It's like an axis like this, right? And
Right. So, like, watch this. I will show you the example. If I rotate this door, it spins in the middle, right? If I
Yeah.
rotate this door, it swings like a door,
Right.
right? Because of where that pivot point is, where the axis is. Okay. I'm just gonna. I just hit Command Z to undo all of that to get back to where I was. Okay, I'm a little bit retentive here, so what I'm going to do actually is take this door, I'm going to make it a child of my original door, right? So in this hierarchy, nothing changed in the scene, but in my hierarchy, it's underneath this door, correct? Do you have that?
That sounds like something like parenting, like you do, and so one thing controls another, right?
That is correct. I'm going to delete, oh shit, whoops, I actually parented it to the wrong door. I parented it to the left door because I think in my retentive ways I arranged them top to bottom, left to right. Okay, I am going to get rid of the side doors for the sake of demonstration and for ease of use, and so I don't get confused. Okay, so I parented it. Now I'm going to show you something. Look over here at the inspector.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the XY position numbers. Okay,
Yeah.
here's the door by itself. Notice that they changed. Right?
Yeah.
Once I parented it, it changed, right? And I took it off, and I'm going to parent it again. I'm just showing you, so you can watch the inspector here. Right. Unlink them. Now I'm going to link it back on. Okay, this is what it's doing. When it's not attached to this other object, which we'll call the door, right? The regular door. When it's not attached to that, its transform numbers are where it is in the world, right? So it's technically, it's like understood you, right? Like go to the store. Like when you speak that way, that you is still there. You go to the store, correct? Right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
assume that the door is attached to the world, and this is its relationship in the scene or the world scene, right? And so this is how far it is from the center of the world, right?
Right.
Once I attach it to the door, those numbers change to be its relationship to this door object.
So can you just change them to 0, 0, 0 then and bring it back to where the door is?
I could, but what it will do, since the pivot is not at 0, 0, 0 on the door, is it will put it there.
Just yeah.
Right? So, but what I can do is do this. I'll move it by hand until I think it visually matches kind of the center of where it is in like 0.537. Let's look at it.